And we are live. How's it going, everyone? Let's get a quick audio check. Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Can you guys hear us A-okay?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
On my end, it seems fine.
How's it going, R2D2? Let's get an audio check in here. Give us a thumbs. Give us something.
Oh, R2D2 is here. I do want to give a massive shout out to him when we do get the opportunity. This guy's been killing it. His growth over the past, I don't want to say 6 months. It's been a, I think 8-month progress. Slow and steady, but I think he's hit that inflection point now.
Let's go. Let's get that momentum rolling. Alrighty, I like this. I like the enthusiasm. All right, Shawn, are you ready?
I
In
am
3,
ready.
2, 1. How's it going, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. It's been a while since Shawn and I got on a duo live stream, but yeah, here we are. I think the markets are looking absolutely fantastic. I'm struggling to be bearish. Shawn thinks I'm hilarious for that. I got a lot of laughy reactions on my Bitcoin notification from yesterday.
She's a little mango pitbull. How's it going, Mark? Good to see you in here. Guys, Mark has been killing it on the upcoming updates to the dashboard. You guys should be so freaking excited. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So get excited or just stay tuned for crazy updates. My chest's filled with excitement on how great things are looking at the moment.
I did not give you guys a spoiler in yesterday's video. I did not. But yeah, it's probably going to be one of our biggest updates to the dashboard yet. So for those of you who are not grandfathered into the system, I would reconsider. Do it.
Yeah, so we will be reconsidering the pricing as well when the major overhaul does come out. But for those of you who are already signed up and have the existing plan, you guys will be grandfathered into the future update without any changes in your price. So,
all right, Shawn, are you ready to jump in?
let's jump in. Look at Bitcoin, the 73,300, Krisha.
I mean, I've been bullish. Look at this candle. Look at this weekly candle. I have been bullish. No one can look at me and be like, Krisha, you didn't get this right. No, I've been bullish. I've been struggling to be bearish, in fact. And I've been shocked, you know. Believe it or not, guys, for those of you who have not been following the comments section, you've been following, say, the Bitcoin updates, but, you know, you sort of graze over the comment section, or for whatever reason you're watching it on your phone, maybe you're watching it on TV, it's just difficult to get to the comment section. Here's the general sentiment. The general sentiment, Shawn, I hope you're listening as well. The general sentiment is this, and I want to get everyone's input on this. The general sentiment is that Bitcoin falls lower, but it's not only that Bitcoin falls lower. Much of the market, they're looking at this target range. The target range comes in from around $40,000 going down to $35,000. That seems to be the, that consensus point where much of the market, retail especially, is looking for Bitcoin to tap before we even see a bottom. Now, Shawn, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this when there's so much consensus over this one zone of price action? You know, what are your thoughts?
I am reticent to fade consensus because the market has been largely correct, right? There was enough people calling for weakness at around $110,000, $100,000, and they ended up being right. So we have to be humble and say, hey, you know what? The market might be right on 35,000 as well, but I am not convinced on the timing for them to expect it to happen now. I'm just not seeing it. I cannot see it. My rules will not allow me to see it because we have key support over here that doesn't allow me to get bearish until we break it. And number two, recent price action actually flipped that on over to the other side where my rules would actually ask me to be bullish over here, right? We'll get to that later. But if you consider what's going on with oil, with the war, and how Bitcoin reacted to everything, I just cannot be bearish according to my rules. But I cannot be bullish either according to my rules because of the overall trend. So I have to err on the side of being neutral here. You guys know I'm very rule-based with my approach to the markets. And I want to be bullish with you, Krisha. I want to be fully bullish with you. I just cannot. I'll lean slightly bullish for the short to midterm, but not entirely there yet.
So I'm actually really curious to hear your thoughts as to why you're not leaning entirely bullish just yet. But before, well, I ask you that because this is that point where Shawn and I are on, I'm not going to say extremes, but I am leaning significantly more bullish than Shawn is. Right? So there are like these two opposing views right now. I want you guys to tell me, what do you guys want to hear first? Do you want to hear Shawn's thoughts as to why he wants to approach this with a bit more prudence, with a bit more caution? Or do you want to hear the bullish take? Get into the chat and tell me. You want to hear the cautious take or you want to hear the bullish take?
Mark says that he agrees on that note. His system won't allow him to go high time frame bullish, though he is low time frame bullish-ish. I do want to add on to what I said in regards to Mark's reply, because I think I wasn't all that clear. It's not that I'm not bullish. I'm not cyclically bullish yet. I need a few things to happen on the charts for me to get cyclically bullish. And you guys know that when it's time to get bullish, I will get bullish and I'll be loud about it no matter what the world says. I was calling for all-time high when Bitcoin was at 19K and everyone gave me crap. I'm like, I don't care. Halving or no halving, my rules are telling me to call for all-time high. I'm not seeing that yet. I am seeing a few things that are very exciting, but I'm not cyclically bullish just yet. Don't shoot the messenger, guys.
So Shawn, people want to hear your take. Simon says cautious. He wants to hear the cautious take. Desk Comp also says cautious. Julian has the best response. He's like bullish-ish, which is cautious-ish. So Shawn, tell us your take as to why you are not cyclically bullish here, why you want to approach this. I mean, consider this. Okay, this is a weekly chart. Look at this candle. It's a friggin' full body candle right here. So this is a good point, where a lot of people might be sort of looking at the lower time frames, getting, I don't want to use the word trapped per se, but they're getting a bit anxious. They're wondering if price runs away from them. Why should people approach this with caution right now? What is your take on this?
I don't think people should be approaching this with caution. This is definitely one of those phases where Bitcoin is more likely to go up than go down, which is why I bought Bitcoin as well. And I said as much in our Discord. By the way, guys, make sure you join our Discord at themangoway.com/Discord. I'm able to give you guys quick updates on our Discord that I'm not able to do on YouTube. So on Discord, I said, guys, I'm buying Bitcoin over here, right? Even though I'm cautious, even though I'm not cyclically bullish just yet, that doesn't change the fact that I have to apply a level of probability to this actually being a bottom and I'm wrong, right? So I bought Bitcoin over here because if it does go, there's a higher probability of it going up than it going down over here. I'm just saying that it may not continue going up to 100,000, 120 and above, right? So let's say I'm wrong on that. I still think it's going up to like 90,000 at the very least, right? I get to expose myself to that price action, and then I get to sit and wait, right? I get to position for bullishness, and if I'm wrong, I still make money, right? So just because you're cyclically bearish doesn't mean you shouldn't be opportunistic over here. This is one of those phases where you can buy against the trend and enjoy being wrong, right? So I want to make that clear. You should have been looking to buy at around that $68,000 to $65,000 mark, that entire red zone that you've been harping on for the longest time, Krisha. It was a buy zone, and only after losing that level, you can look for lower. And that's what trading is. It's not about being right. It's about saying, hey, you know what? I'm willing to be wrong. I just want to make money, right? And at that point, at that zone that you have marked out, Krisha, you, as a trader, as an investor, it was a high reward positioning zone where you just buy, and if you're wrong, just exit, take the small loss. But if you're right, at the very least, you're looking at around $95,000 to $100,000, right? So I don't think people should be cautious here, or should have been cautious at least at the zone. They should have been looking to buy. But let's say we get to 90K. I don't think that over there you should be buying. You shouldn't be buying $90,000. You shouldn't be buying at around $100,000, because that is where the inflection point asymmetry changes towards the downside.
Right. So, okay, I have a question for you. These are all like, it's valid, right? Now, there are two ways in which Bitcoin can get up to $90,000, right? This week alone, Bitcoin did a good 11%, right? And so here's my question for you, Shawn. What if we slowly inch our way up to $90,000? Let me just get my tool, right? If we do something like this, what's your take on it then?
Right. That's a really good question. I'd like to share my screen for a quick second.
Go for it. I think this is important.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where people are going to be caught off guard, because 90K is not just any ordinary level. So I'll let Shawn share his thoughts, and then I'll tell you what I'm seeing here.
Let's see how I could do this. Share screen.
And I'll focus it a tad bit more, Shawn. What if we like get up here? Like, what if we inch our way up all the way to the summer? So I'm talking about, say, June, May, June, July. Let's just take those summer months. So tell me your thoughts on it then.
Okay. Share screen. And okay, this is good. Do you guys see my tab? I think you got. I think you got to put it up.
Okay, you're on.
All right. So I'll try to explain what framework I'm using to position myself at the moment, cyclically bullish or bearish. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be putting on trades towards the bullish side just because we are cyclically bearish, right? At the moment, all we have to do is look at the cloud structure and price against the cloud. Price is living underneath the cloud and in equilibrium with it as well. Underneath the cloud means bearish. In equilibrium with it means that we could see further downside, and there's no scope to look for a vacuum to the upside. If you guys remember, back in the previous cycle, when we were sitting around this zone over here, I was like, we are far out of equilibrium with the cloud, right? The distance between cloud and price action was way too much. At the same time, we were also underneath the Kumo. So we were looking for that snap towards the top of the cloud. Very similar to what we're looking for at the moment on the 3-day Kumo twist, right? I did a special live stream where I talked about this a couple of times. I'm like, guys, we're living under the Kumo. I would not be surprised if we make our way to the top of the Kumo or make our way up towards the Kumo. But that's on the 3-day time frame. That's a mid time frame move. On the high time frame, though, we don't have that disequilibrium between price and cloud. If price was sitting here around 40,000, for example, that would line up a lot of people's targets as well, coincidentally. And the distance between price and cloud would allow my rules to say, hey, you can look for that vacuum move towards the top of the cloud. Now, claim the top of the cloud, that's when I get cyclically bullish again for a bigger move. So I have two criteria. First, claim the bottom of the cloud, play out that edge-to-edge trade to the top of the cloud, then claim the top of the cloud, right? I'm simplifying it over here at the moment, but this is the framework that allows me to keep on side with the equilibrium of the cycle without having to guesstimate, oh, it's going to be a 6-month cycle, it's going to be a 6-year cycle, 3-year cycle, 4-year cycle. No, I'm allowing price to dynamically tell me what to do.
Okay. I think your edge, your explanation on how we get up to the top of the cloud got cut off.
Oh no.
Because there was a bit of a lag. Yeah, just okay. It always happens. It's always that one point, the most critical point of an explanation. It just like breaks. Okay, but it's better now, right?
Did you guys hear me, or do you guys want me to repeat that? I'd be okay repeating that.
Repeat the part of the squiggly where we essentially break into the cloud and make our way to the top.
Okay, so I'll try to start over for those of you who lost me. I talked about how in the previous cycle, we had disequilibrium right over here when we're sitting around 15K between cloud and price. On top of that, we also had the Kumo twist that allowed me to look for a snapback towards the Kumo, as well as a vacuum play to put price back into equilibrium. At the moment, we don't have that. At the moment, price is in equilibrium with the cloud. However, on the 3-day, we do have the Kumo twist. We do have the potential to make that Kumo twist play. And I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, guys, we're under the Kumo twist. Look for that move to the upside of the cloud, basically towards the Kumo, right? That would then allow for your squiggly to play out, right, Krisha? What you just drew?
Yeah.
It will also line up with us claiming the bottom of the cloud. As soon as price lives back inside the weekly cloud, I can then look for vacuum play towards the top of the cloud. As long as you're so close underneath the cloud, I cannot look for any vacuum play. There's no vacuum play to be had. Price is in equilibrium with a cloud, and we are underneath the cloud. So we have to look for the cloud to be resistance and look for downside, right? However, we do have the 3-day that's allowing for that lower time frame momentum to claim the bottom of the cloud, right? Along with your zone that's sitting over here, Krisha, we have a lot going on for the bulls to step in at the moment. So you want to give the bulls that chance. But do you give it a cyclical chance? No, not just yet. First step, claim the bottom of the cloud. If we do that, I can then look for the vacuum play to the top of the cloud. The vacuum play gets activated once we claim the cloud. Then we still have the top of the cloud at around 100,000 to claim. If we can then claim the top of the cloud like this, I will then say, okay, there's a fighting chance for a cyclical play. We're still going to have some complexities to contend with that I don't want to get into at the moment because I'd be too wordy. But for now, this is the framework that allows me to keep in track with the cycle without trying to time, is it a 4-year cycle? Is it a 3-year cycle? None of that shit matters. It doesn't allow you to be dynamic. Those things are for forecasters who never trade. They aren't looking to make money. They're looking to be right. I, on the other hand, I'm okay being wrong, but I want to make money, right? So over here,
Right.
if I'm wrong for the downside, at least I'll make money because I'm positioned for upside. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think it got disconnected again.
No.
No? Okay.
Okay, that's a good. I feel like that's a better way to sort of trade this entire range, because this is one thing that, I think I told you about this, Shawn, that we're at this juncture right now where the market could trick the bulls and the bears. It could honestly trick the bulls and the bears, because to Shawn's point, now I'm going to share my chart, Shawn, to drive in the significance of even 90K, right? And this is where things get a bit tricky. I'm going to remove that to stage. Okay, so I have 90K marked out on my chart here, and I'm just for a quick sort of a minute, I'm going to get on over to the weekly. What we're going to do is we're going to line it up with the top of the cloud. Okay, we're going to line up this line with the top of the cloud. This comes in at around $93,000. All right, just so that everything is labeled 93K. So let's just say Shawn's squigglies play out. We managed to sort of penetrate the cloud and make our way a good clean edge to edge. By the way, there's another observation that I made on the weekly Ichimoku cloud. Every time prices actually, let's say, penetrate that cloud, when we close into the cloud, there is a high probability that the edge to edge actually plays out. Like, you guys can go ahead and back test this on the weekly Ichimoku setup. That edge to edge, it has a very, very good probability of playing out. Now, considering that an edge to edge on the current weekly Ichimoku cloud takes Bitcoin, if this plays out, and if this, then that sort of setup, we get up to $93,000. Here's the thing about the significance of 93K, right? Now, I want your thoughts, Shawn. I want everyone else's thoughts. Like, a pull up to 93K would also be a pull up to the 3-day Kumo twist. Now, let me go ahead and put on the Mango ribbon indicator. Okay, but this time on the monthly time frame, just to show you where 93 is at relative to some of our key regions of, relative to some of our key moving averages that are part of, many of our bull run systems, right? Like, for instance, even the 21 exponential moving average, which is the yellow line on my chart. I'm going to knock off everything else. I'll just keep the 21 and the 10 on. 21 marked in yellow, 10 marked in white. Now, this, if you recall, Shawn, this is one of our key, at least this is one of the key systems that I look towards to help me understand, okay, are we maybe edging towards bull market territory, right? It's price reclaiming that 21 EMA on its move to the upside. A push up to $93,000 and say we see strength there, price is actually closed there, would entail that Bitcoin then closes over that 21 exponential moving average. We're in that mode of reclaiming that level, right? And it's not just this in isolation, but it's a myriad of other things that I'm seeing on the horizon as well. To think that not only are we, if we get that pull, 93K, okay, we've reclaimed the 21 exponential moving average. But in addition to that, I want us to really consider where we have launched from. And when I say launched from, I'm talking about where did the takeoff start? Where did that uptrend begin from, right? The origin of it, which was this zone right here. I've marked this out as my bear market target, which is 67K down to 56K. Right? Now, once again, guys, I'm going over this system. Okay, I'm bullish because of what I'm seeing here. Okay, I'm leaning more bullish because of all of this coming together, because this was no ordinary target, right? This was a part of my target system, my personal target system. It fell within this range. But in addition to that, we have this launching from, oh, there it is. It's right on my chart. The 200 exponential and 200 simple moving average sandwich, which historically has been the bear market bottom for many cycles prior to this one.
Yeah.
2014, 2018, even the COVID dump of 2020 as well. Right? So we're launching from this historic launch pad and then a move up to 93K. Okay. And this is contingent on us actually seeing strength over 93K. Candle closes, weekly candle closes, monthly even better. Right? What are your thoughts? Like, if we do that, Shawn, where is the market at right now?
That's not going to be enough for me. Like, at $110,000 before we lost the bi-weekly down, before people were essentially calling quits and saying, hey, it's a bear market, we had already theorized what we'd be looking for Bitcoin to do if we go into a bear market, right? And specifically what I'd asked for, now again, this is a tall ask. I'm being conservative over here, granted, but I asked for multiple monthly candle closes above the 10 SMA. I want to see a higher low structure above the 10 SMA. Because if we V-bottom the way you've drawn it out, or let's say it happens over the next few months, right?
Yeah.
I'd want to see structure to say, okay, hey, this isn't just a lower high of a downtrend, right? On a monthly downtrend, that too, that could lead us to 40,000 after. I'm just looking for confirmation over here to have that conviction to go balls deep, forgive my French, on position sizing. Because it's not that you don't position for bullishness, guys, okay? You don't need to be entirely right. You don't need to be entirely wrong. All you do is adjust your position sizing to expose yourself to the bullishness while still being cautious. Caution can be expressed via reducing size, right? So what I'm trying to say is I'm positioned for that upside, and I'll be happy if we continue to see upside. But for me to have that same sort of bullishness that I had in the previous cycle with conviction at this juncture, the way you've drawn it out, I'm going to have to see structure above the 10 SMA. That being said, let's say all of this that you highlighted happens later in the year, happens September. Okay, we go through this 6-month period with a slow grind, a rounded bottom, and then we claim the monthly 10 SMA. By then, the monthly 10 SMA is likely going to come down to around 86,000, 85,000-ish, right? And then we put in like a W-like formation and claim that monthly 10 SMA. That's a different story, because at that point, we're likely having the monthly 10 SMA test the 21 EMA, right? Yeah. Price is going to be showing us that it wants to reject the bearish cross of the 1021. Because guys, that's how early we are on this trend. We haven't even had the 10 SMA cross the 21 EMA towards the downside. Zoom out, Krisha, and you're going to see, zoom out, you're going to see that last cycle and the cycle before that, we got the 10 SMA crossing underneath the 21 EMA, and then price fought to undo that. So let price do all of that, right? I'm not saying it needs to do that, but we are far too early, in my mind, to be calling victory because of a bounce over here, which we can play. It's very playable. Remember, at 2018, Krisha, we played that 3K move to 14K, right? It's exciting. It's not money to be left on the table. You don't want to be saying, I'm not trading this at all because we're cyclically bearish. No, these bounces can be extremely fun, especially on altcoins. This is where you guys shouldn't be wanting Bitcoin to turn around here. What you guys want is Bitcoin to oscillate between 75 and 90 while altcoins go crazy. That's what you guys should all want, because then you can collect more Bitcoin. Collecting Bitcoin while Bitcoin's on a tear is a freaking nightmare.
It is. People tend to sort of jump into the altcoins in a way to make up for their lack of Bitcoin. You don't be caught in that. Okay, I like your thesis, and I quite like the way you explained. Okay, if prices start moving up, getting into September, things would change.
Yeah.
And here's what I want to show you guys next. For those of you who did not catch yesterday's Bitcoin update, this is something really cool, like really, really cool. Now, some of you guys caught it, good stuff. But for those of you who did not catch that previous system that I presented, let's talk about what really worked out this past cycle, right? This cycle. Because let's face it, a lot of it did not work out. And some of it was, when I say a lot of it did not work out, I'm talking about certain signatures that held true in previous cycles that did not hold true in this cycle. Now, one positive one was, hey, Bitcoin hit all-time high before the halving. One negative one is that while every single bull run had an exponential phase in price action, let's just go back in here, right? We saw an exponential phase happen in that bull run of, what was that, 2012, 2013. We had an exponential phase back here in, what's this, 2017. We had an exponential phase as well back here in 2020. Anyways, every single bull market had an exponential phase that we did not see this time around. So that was one of the negatives. The one thing that did work out, however, in this previous cycle was the timing element of things. So I was doing a bit of, analysis, a bit of back testing, and I found something really cool. Let me go ahead, man. I have so many charts. It's unreal. It's unreal. Let me go ahead and this is it. Okay, May 2026. Alrighty. So I found that if we are looking at the monthly time frame, and if we are going with the whole hypothesis that Bitcoin followed the 4-year cycle, which it did this time around, this is the one sort of cycle that everyone was saying that, okay, this is going to be the super cycle because we haven't gotten that exponential phase. We're setting up for the exponential phase, which means we're heading in for a super cycle. The 4-year cycle is no more, yada, yada, yada. But what we got instead was the 4-year cycle. It did play out. Now, if we go on the 4-year cycle basis, okay, let's just go ahead. 4-year cycle, right? 4 is a specific number. It's very, very okay. 4 is 4, right? If we're going based on that, it should hold true that every single cycle lasted for roughly a good sort of the same amount of days, the same amount of bars, okay, on average. So I decided, okay, let me just put this to the test. Let me see if that held true. And turns out it did hold true, okay? So the observation that I made was from bottom to bottom, right, which was, say, bear market of 2015 to bear market of 2018 to bear market of 2023. All of that averaged for about 40 bars. From one bear market to the next bear market to the next bear market, 40 bars on average. Okay, 40 bars to the dot. Go ahead and test this out. So if we are looking at that 40 bar mark, all right, as to when that, to give us an estimate of that time element of things, because it was in that 40 bar mark that we actually saw the market bottom off, right? We saw Bitcoin actually find its bottom within those 40 bars, and that's when we saw a gradual turn in price action. Now, the turn did not happen exactly on the 40th bar, but at the very least, on that 40 bar mark, it was safe to make the hypothesis that, okay, Bitcoin has either reached its bottom or it's very, 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 very close to it, right? So now if we look at the 40 bar estimate once again, and if I count 40 bars from when the previous bull market started, so from basically the bear market low to this next bear market low, 40 bars from there, where does that take us? That takes us to May 2026. May 2026. 40 bars. Once again, I've sort of explained the system a lot better with all of the drawings in the previous Bitcoin analysis, but I think this is not trivial right now. So
Yeah.
as far as what Shawn is saying,
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is this something big that everyone's missing? You guys know I'm not counting these cycles. I'm playing things at 6-month mark. I'm playing 6-month cycles, and the new 6-month cycle does begin right now. Right, I do have to say that we play from March to September as each 6-month cycle. So this could line up with what you're saying, Krisha, by just being kind of off by a couple of months, right? Is this something that we're missing? Because if we do claim the cloud, leading into, you said April or May? May. So there's
May 2026.
there's
But yeah,
around what? We're already 13th of March. So we have 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weekly candles to claim the bottom of the cloud. That could line up with, hey, Krisha's 40 bar theory.
40 to 40 to 40 to 40.
That's really interesting. That would imply that the bottom is this summer, would line up with the entire World Cup theory I had a few months ago as well, right?
Yeah. The rallies line up with the World Cups. But you know what? I
Yeah, they
actually did
do.
test
They
that.
do.
I did do a back test on that. That's not.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I did.
It feels like,
I thought that would
okay.
be such a fun video to actually do, right? If we find that, hey, you know, on every sort of single soccer World Cup, the markets were just rallying. No, that doesn't hold true. It just so happened that last time, if you notice, Bitcoin's bull markets, they usually start December, Jan, right, on the clock. It just so happened the previous World Cup actually lined up with a December World Cup. Now, this time it's summer. But hey, this system falls in line with that, though, so that there's something to be said about that. And it's not just this. There's a whole bunch of other things that I've found, even in terms of timing, right? There's the whole weekly Bollinger Band system that also lines up with this. I did this entire video. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah. On everything that I found, the 200 exponential moving average, simple moving average sandwich that we're just about taking off from right now. My target system also lines up with the current this current zone of price
zoom
action.
in for us, Krisha?
Zoom into
on the center of the Bollinger Band. We can't see.
Okay, that's right, because it's a screenshot from my
oh, right.
my video.
Apologies.
Yeah. I had limited time to prepare for this one. But yeah, that's the center of the Bollinger Band. Right, there you go. See, look at that. Look at that. Okay, center of the Bollinger Band. And the bottom of the Bollinger Band lines up with the whole zone once again. I mean, there's something to be said. And why is this important, right? If you really consider this. Now, Shawn, you've been telling everybody about this, that this is important. Bitcoin is important, because you'll find that if you really dive into this a tad bit more, you'll find that Bitcoin is the best gauge for global liquidity. It's going to tell you when the markets are ready to go risk on. Right? So it's not only going to help you set certain expectations for crypto, for Bitcoin, but it's also going to help you assess where you stand relative to the rest of the assets in your portfolio. Right? Do you have enough? It's going to help you sort of critically reflect on your entire portfolio and, you know, help you understand, are you falling short somewhere that you wanted to sort of build your position on? Right? So these kind of things, I mean, not these kind of things. Bitcoin is going to help us assess when is it time for us to be really grilling our portfolios. So once again, Bollinger Band, and this too, by the way, has a timing element to it that's worked out like a charm on every single cycle. Exactly 92 bars from when Bitcoin breaks the mid. Is it 92 bars? Not 92 bars. 92 days, I think. I'll have to go back into the system. I had it all noted down, but it's around a set number of days from when price breaks that Bollinger mid to the Bitcoin bottom, and it's played out to the T on every single bear market. There's the timing confluence across the board, along with price action confluence, along with the levels. It's just too much. And the overconfidence, and it's the same thing that killed the market this time around. Let's face it. Okay, the one thing that killed the spirit of crypto this time around, the spirit of Bitcoin, especially the altcoiners, was the fact that no one's expectations were met. And it's often expectations that's the killer. It's our expectations of what price ought to be doing on any single sort of trend, on any bull market or bear market, that ultimately can be that deciding factor on whether or not you make money or you lose money.
I want to address Todd's question on oil, or rather, he's been wanting to discuss it, Krisha, and you have the tab open there. And I do want to give you a massive shout out for the call you made in the Seed Clubhouse session on oil. You were absolutely right on that one. I was not expecting oil to do this. It was insane, this move. I couldn't believe it. What shocked me more, though, was the fact that Bitcoin and risk assets in general, but Bitcoin especially, did not sweep its lows. If there was anything that got, you guys know, I posted this first thing in the morning in the Seed private chat. I was like, and of course, a very sarcastic tone. I wonder what this could mean, right? I wish I could show you guys a screenshot of that, but it was really obvious that this is likely going to cause Bitcoin to have a short-term rally at the very least, right? Bitcoin's sitting around 65,000 at the time. But the fact that it did not go down to its lows and sweep the lows, considering oil did this, people are frothing in the mouth to sell Bitcoin. It's the asset that all the bears are fine, like, this is our time. It's going to go to zero. Send it to 20K at the very least. Screw all these Bitcoin bulls. They hate us, right? Watching the Bitcoin community make so much money. We are on stage right now to be made a donkey of, right? Micro strategies on the spotlight, sailors being made fun of, blah, blah, blah. And they couldn't get price to at least sweep the lows on this kind of price action, because Bitcoin is that risk asset to sell on the weekends, especially when you can't sell anything else. And Bitcoin did not go down. That was the most bullish thing that Bitcoin has done in my mind, more than the moving averages, the exponential moving averages, etc., etc. If you go on over to Bitcoin's weekly chart, Krisha, show Bitcoin's weekly quickly. I tell people this often in the candlestick analysis module too, in the seed program. What have I taught you guys? Zoom in to the weekly price action, Krisha. I'm going to get... there you go. So that previous weekly candle, when you see the market reject, by the way, it rejected underneath the bottom of the weekly cloud, which was expected, yes. However, yeah, you can turn it on quickly. You can see that, right? Bottom of the weekly cloud, perfect rejection, right? I love the cloud. It's the most powerful all-in-one indicator that anyone could use if you don't have specialized indicators. This pretty much gives you a full glance at everything, as long as you know how to use it. So perfect rejection. However, the fact that the bears weren't able to show follow through the following week, extremely bullish, right? That kind of candle, you cannot look at it in isolation. It's your first signal, but the trigger to that kind of candle is the low being taken out on the follow-up, right? The low did not get taken out. The final confirmation is the candle close underneath the low. We didn't get either, right? So this weekly is about to close. We're closing it green. We're filling up the wick. And if we then get the close inside the weekly cloud, we're likely going to be seeing that edge to edge. At the very least, a move towards the 10, Krisha. So you're making me more bullish. However, I don't want to get excited just yet. We've got to see that weekly cloud get claimed. Let's go back to the oil chart. Todd wants to talk about oil. I do want to give oil some screen time. Oil is, unless you're trading oil, in my opinion, you need to be looking at what the assets are doing relative to oil, right? Oil can go up, but if the market isn't buying it, that's what you need to listen to. What's the market saying? The market is telling you that we think this is temporary. The market could be wrong, okay? But they could be wrong for a very, very long time before they realize, oh shit, we were wrong. And then things could unwind. But all that matters at the moment is what the buying power is telling you. And the buying power isn't convinced that oil is going to be a danger, at least for Bitcoin, right? We can look at SPY's weakness and NASDAQ's weakness, but I don't think you guys are trading that. Yes, sellers exhausted on Bitcoin for sure, Todd. I agree. Oh, I can't hear Krisha. Can you guys hear Krisha?
Oh, my bad. My mic was off. I said props to the dashboard for the oil trade. I only caught the oil trade, by the way, the whole setup on oil because of the dashboard. Now, for those of you who are not aware, get into TradFi. We have sick new features. All of this only gets better from here. Like, you guys do not know what's in the pipeline just yet. It's
Oh,
gonna
right.
be
And
insane.
I think you guys can use the coupon code as well, right? Because I don't think you
Oh
spoke
yes,
about that.
my bad, man. We are so bad at
Krisha's birthday week. So there is a coupon running.
1 year younger. Yeah, the coupon code is K26. You can use it on the dashboard, on the Mango Seed program, Sprouts, of course, all of the indicators out there. For those of you wondering, if you are just beginning, I've been getting this question a lot. If you are very, 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 very new to the whole world of trading, you want to sort of dip your feet in, start with the Sprouts program, okay? But if you want something a bit more comprehensive, going to help you with your portfolio across the board, an amazing, amazing, amazing risk management system, best in the class, Seed is the way to go. Okay, I cannot recommend it enough. That was my first. Well, I was student zero, Shawn.
Just seeds, yeah.
Shawn, was I a good
Students.
student?
She was okay. She was all right. There's been better students. I want to give a shout out to Mock, to Julian, to Wolvie, Ajesh, right? Yeah, but Krisha's up there.
Thanks. I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, use the coupon code CAKE26, but it also works on the dashboard, guys. The dashboard is just insane. I caught the oil setup because of the dashboard. And it's right here. It's right in your face even still. I caught the oil setup back in December. Okay, there was the war was still there, but it was not as amplified as it is right now. You know, with the states joining in, all of that had not happened just yet, but the charts were printing the play. All right, dashboard. Once again, we had shorts across many of the market sectors. Energy, however, the reading was like, whoa, something's going on here. Something's going on here. We had a long trend with volatility super duper duper low, which got me to get onto the chart. And I'm like, wait a second. This is about to erupt. This is about to erupt very, very, very soon. And I found a system that even helped me with the whole timing of it. So yeah, pay attention to the dashboard, guys. Make sure you are not fading that. What I do want to go over here is, well, SPY currently short, volatility at 65, telling me that, okay, this has a bit more downside to go. But more importantly, I want to look at silver. I know we have a huge, huge, huge silver audience. So silver right now, guys, I'll be honest, my analysis on silver has not changed, okay? It has not changed at all. While daily and 2-day are currently swinging bearish, all right? With volatility readings, volatility on daily is pretty healthy, telling me that the bears can still take this down a tad bit further. 2-day also, okay, it's got bit more juice if even, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, gold, silver, I think it's in a range. People getting too overly bearish on silver, I don't know, man. I feel like silver and just metals right now can actually still shock. To jump the gun on metals, especially if you're someone who got a good price, is just it's, well, jumping the gun. Right now, silver thesis still sticks. 120, down to 65. This is your entire range of oscillation. You guys need to be okay with having these volatile ranges. You don't get to sit through 8 months of freaking up-only price action and expect no volatility to the downside. All right, the same kind of volatility that you see to the upside is the same kind of vol you see to the downside. So this is still going to be the range of oscillation. Breaking 120, is game on, bulls. Okay, Shawn, you got to check this out. Okay, got to check this out. I'm going to show you something cool. Okay, this is what people, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, silver, gold, they have a way of shocking. You can go ahead and check this out, but silver often lags gold in terms of its run, but when the markets top off, they usually top off within the same sort of time horizon. But check this out. Back in 2003, we had this crazy run, once again, green on green on green as far as months are concerned. And then we had this crazy prolonged consolidation. It just ranged, there was no thing of the macro trend really breaking. Put in a bull flag, 2004, that lasted for 579 days. And then once again, the next rally. Okay, then once again, we had a prolonged consolidation, once again, within that range of oscillation, and then another breakout. This entire run, okay, from when it began all the way to 2008, it started in 2003 and ran till 2008. And we had these intermediate consolidations on the trend.
Phases. And I feel like that's going to be the trap for people this time around too. They're not going to be willing to wait.
Exactly. That's going to be the trap.
Yeah,
that's going to be the trap. The trap is going to be the time. It's not even going to be price.
I don't think silver is going to take that long with its consolidations this time. I think gold and silver are going to continue running aggressively with short bursts of consolidations, yes. It's also going to feed into the fact that people just aren't as patient as before, right? People were willing to wait back then, but still got shook out because price tends to take you to your extreme. And back then, people had far more patience. So it was easy. It took a lot more to shake them out. This time, it's going to be easier to shake people out, right? People like in the age of TikTok, in the age of Instagram Reels and YouTube Reels, where people want 30 seconds of content and want the entire analysis in like 3 minutes. I think it's going to be easy to shake people out. And that's going to be the pain. Shake out, pump, shake out, pump. Patience can be edge, guys.
Yeah. Oh,
there's been a request by R2D2 from Seed for UAN. I do want to highlight that request from the chat. And Ajesh is in here too. How's it going, Ajesh? Julian, good to see you guys in here. The seedlings are all in here. Julian's been here the entire time though. UAN, not UME, UAN, I believe. I don't know which asset he's talking about. It's not a crypto. It's not a crypto. It's a TradFi. I'm pretty sure. It's TradFi.
CVR partners.
CVR partners, I believe so.
Is that it?
Yeah. Weekly clouds tends to, seems to look good.
Oh snap! Woo! I love these charts.
It is at an inflection point resistance though, at around 138. If you guys go all the way back to September 2022, you're going to see that bounce into a rejection and then the big bear market. You're likely going to see some sort of market reaction over here, right? Do we see a rejection or a claim? So somewhere between 140 to 138, I would not be looking to touch this asset. If you're already in though, you can watch.
Wait, are you looking at a different chart with more price history? Because all I see is blue sky breakout here.
I'm looking at a different chart actually. I'm looking at NYSE. It goes all the way back to. Let me see. UAN. Oh, I'm looking at the weekly, Krisha, and it's not blue sky breakout. We have different charts.
I don't know. Mine looks like blue sky breakout. See, UAN. I have NYSE. IDX.
Next asset,
no, it's different. Yeah. I don't know. I think it looks good. Trend looks strong.
Yeah, it does look good, but I just wouldn't be all that keen over here.
And then because you guys always hate on me when I add something in the title and I don't cover it, fan service, XRP. So now you guys can't hate. My personal opinion on the low is what you guys hate me for. You guys hate me for my personal opinion on the high and the low. The $23 target, guys, I'm still looking at $23 as a target for, future bull markets. That's still on the table. I will be doing a dedicated video on that. So if you guys want to keep up with that, make sure hitting the sub, of course. My personal opinion on the low is that we tapped it. We tapped it. And apparently, by the way, Ripple actually had like a whole, I think, multi-millions of buybacks. Yeah. This was recent news. I think this came in 2 days ago. Pushing up the valuation to $50 billion. I have to get the actual dates. I'll probably cover it in the next update. But yeah, as far as price action is concerned, I think we've tapped the low. And if you're looking at it alongside Bitcoin and where Bitcoin's at relative to its cyclical levels, it's like all lining up right here. And I did not look at Bitcoin before I came up with this analysis on XRP. This was just organically, it flowed, and there was just confluence on the two sort of bear market levels that I had. So yeah, $13 is still going to be the target that I look towards. Right now, zone of oscillation, we start breaking at $62. XRP is headed higher, $90. Yeah, I say keep XRP really simple, man. Bull market on as soon as we reclaim monthly dynamic support resistance overhead. Keep it very, very, very simple. You know, to go risk on, right, at that level.
Yeah.
I'm looking towards monthly dynamic resistance and weekly dynamic resistance. Just don't mess this up. It's worked like a charm every time. When you find a good system and people are like, no, it can't be that easy. You know what? Sometimes it is that easy. They can still hate because it's bearish. They hate it when it's bullish too, Mark. But I really like the XRP community. I think they're so entertaining. It's like they're so like full of life. You say 23, they're going to call you crazy. You say $13, they're going to call you crazy. You're crazy either way. There's no winning. XRP to 50. Now they're going to call you crazy. When prices start rallying, you should see the targets. Targets get insane. Then 23 becomes bearish. So only 23, this is going to 100. Okay. But yeah, any more requests before we tune out? We'll try and get the live streams flowing again, because I believe markets are getting interesting. The world is at a very interesting inflection point right now.
Agree. Now it's time to be paying attention, guys. Definitely.
Yeah, is at an interesting inflection point. So are the markets. There's money to be made, people.
Indeed. You keep an eye out for the updates on the Discord in the C channel as well as the public growth channel. We have been giving you guys opportunities. We don't do them often because there aren't, in a bear market, you're not going to always see opportunity, right? So I'm not going to just come out here all the time and say, hey, it's bullish, it's bullish, it's bullish, it's bullish. But the few times I have come and said, hey guys, I'm buying Bitcoin here, right? They have counted, right? They have mattered because the opportunities are far and few, but they matter when they do show up. You gotta be opportunistic when they do show up. You can't be sleeping and then look back and be like, oh man, I got busy with vacation. I got busy with family. All you have to do, guys, is you don't have to assess the chart or anything. Krisha's doing the analysis for you guys. We are here on Discord for you guys. Just keep, just skim through the chat. That's all you have to do. Be like, what are these guys thinking? That's all, the bare minimum. But don't check out completely, because then you find yourself showing up when Bitcoin has already rallied from 16K to $40,000. And you're like, oh, damn, I missed it. It gets so difficult to buy, right? Just stay tuned. That's all.
Beautiful. So yeah, hit the likes, goes a long way. Smash the sub. You guys know the drill. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in today. Much, much, much love. I see a lot of core seedlings in here. So yeah, this should also be another signal.
All right, and don't forget to sign up for the newsletter too. We've been sending out a newsletter every Tuesday, and in there you get your price levels, your targets, etc., etc. Just a good quick summary. Quick summary for those of you who don't have the time to watch the videos or are struggling to keep up with all the content that you guys have been watching. The newsletter has everything you need to know with a quick skim. So that way you don't even need to take down notes. Everything's there for you. So you can find it at themangoway.com/mangojuice. Sign up to the newsletter.
I'll just link it. Of course I have a typo. Cool beans, thank you all for tuning in. And with this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.
Ciao.